Howdy, everyone. Today I'm going to read from Grimm's Fairy Tales. Now, why am I telling old fairy tales and posting them on YouTube? Simply for creativity's sake. Creativity can't be made from nothing. You can't have nothing and create something. That's not how it works. As the great YouTube artist Jadakar once said, you need to feed your mind. Your brain needs fuel to create. Go see a film, play a game, draw, paint, read, go for a walk, and you'll get something. Look at the public domain. The Grimm's fairy tales are in the public domain, free to use. That's what I'm doing. Also, I'm doing this because my favorite animation company is no longer producing fairy tales. Anyways, let me tell you the story of the 12 Huntsmen. Once upon a time, there was a prince named Simon from one kingdom and a princess named Sarah from another, and they loved each other very much. Now, one day, Simon gets a message from his father saying that his father was ill, even unto death, and that he must come to the king immediately. Simon says to his Sarah, "I'll be back for you, my love," and gives her a ring to remember her by. And he rides off towards his father's kingdom. And when he arrives, he goes to his father's bedside, as his father whispers, "I am ill, even unto death. Please, I wish for you to marry this one princess from this other far-away kingdom. Please." But Simon was so conflicted. He promised he would marry Sarah, but his father was laying there dying, so he said he would. And so Simon's father, the king, died. And Simon was crowned the new king. King Simon sent a message to the faraway princess to ask for her hand in marriage. Sarah heard about this arrangement and keeled over. And so Sarah lay in her bed, even unto death, with her father at her bedside. And he asked his daughter, "Oh, dear Sarah, is there anything I can do to make you feel better again?" And Sarah looked at her father and said, "Father, if thou wilt, please find 11 other maidens that look exactly like me in face and in height and in figure, and then dress them all up as huntsmen." What? And by some miracle, he accomplished it. He was able to find 11 other maidens who looked exactly like Sarah in face, figure, and height. Then she gathered them up, dressed them and herself as huntsmen, and thus they became the 12 Huntsmen, no doubt going on epic hunting adventures together. Now, why did she do this? I don't know. And then Sarah led her huntsmen to King Simon's castle, and there they asked to be his huntsmen. King Simon did not recognize his love. All he saw were 12 handsome huntsmen. And so they became the king's huntsmen. Now, why did Sarah go back to her boyfriend that ghosted her? I don't know. One day, King Simon conversed with his talking lion. Now, this I don't have to explain. It's a fairy tale, it's a talking lion, it's awesome, deal with it. The lion said to King Simon, "Look, Simon, you have 12 huntsmen." King Simon replied, yes, I do." Then the lion said, "You do not have 12 huntsmen, you have 12 women disguised as huntsmen." King Simon replied, "What? No, you're lying." "I am not lying. I mean, I am a lion, but I'm not lying. Look, scatter peas upon your antechamber, and have the huntsmen walk over them as they are called to your throne. And then you shall see, men have a firm step and can crush peas. Girls trip and skip and shuffle their feet, rolling the peas about." What? What? Did women have bad footwear? I have no answer for this. But while the king and the lion were conversing, the servant boy overheard what they said. And the servant boy went over to the huntsman and said, "Hey, the lion thinks you're all women. How ridiculous is that?" So Sarah and her huntsman gathered together to make a plan. By the next morning, when the servants threw the peas into the corridor, the king watched as the huntsmen stomped their feet on the ground, crushing the peas as they planned, even unto death. The king said, "See, they are not women, they are huntsmen." But the lion said, "No, I have another way of proving it. Have 12 sewing machines in the corridor, and when you summon your huntsmen, they will be entranced by the sewing machines, thus proving that they are women." But the servant boy overheard the lion again and told the huntsman. The huntsman planned, and then the next morning they ignored the sewing machines. Even unto death! The king said, Lion, they are huntsmen. But the lion tried to tell the king otherwise. King Simon said that he would have no more of this and dismissed the lion. And the lion went away, saying, But I'm not lying. Days later, the king received a letter from the faraway princess, who announced that she was entering his kingdom. When Sarah heard about this, she once again keeled over. Simon, horrified by seeing his favorite huntsman faint, went over to check on him. But when he pulled the huntsman's glove off, he saw on the huntsman's finger was the ring he'd given to Sarah. That's when he realized that the huntsman was Sarah. And then, in a time of classic romance, he awakens her with a kiss. And while I have no doubt that Sarah awoke and said, What were you thinking, ghosting me with another woman? And he whimpers, says, I'm sorry. Sarah forgave him, and they reconciled with each other. When the faraway princess came, King Simon said he was sorry, for he already had a wife, and a man who had just found an old dish did not require a new one. How romantic. After this, their wedding was finally celebrated with 11 bridesmaids, and the lion was accepted back into favor because, after all, he was telling the truth. So, the shallow meaning of the story is, if your fiancé ghosts you for another, find 11 other people that look like you and go on a hunting trip. The deeper one is to be careful of how many promises you make. Don't make promises you can't keep. Thank you for watching.